Yes, it is generally safe to plug a 15 amp product into a 20 amp circuit. The circuit breaker or fuse is designed to protect the entire circuit from overcurrent situations. If the 15 amp product attempts to draw more than 20 amps, the breaker should trip, cutting off the power to the circuit and preventing any potential hazards. The key is that the 15 amp product itself should not draw more than 15 amps under normal operating conditions. The circuit breaker protects the wiring in the wall and connected devices. In the specific scenario presented, plugging a 15 amp surge protector into a 20 amp dedicated circuit is generally considered safe, provided the surge protector and any devices plugged into it do not collectively draw more than 20 amps. Now let's discuss running Romex cable from a ceiling-mounted projector through the wall to a duplex outlet on either end, essentially creating an in-wall extension cord with female ends. It is permissible to run Romex cable in this manner, but there are several important considerations to ensure safety and code compliance. Firstly, the Romex cable must be of the correct gauge for the circuit it is connected to. For a 20 amp circuit, you would need at least 12 American wire gauge Romex cable. This ensures the cable can safely handle the potential current flow without overheating. Secondly, the duplex outlets used at each end of the Romex run must be rated for at least 20 amps. Using outlets with a lower amperage rating could create a potential fire hazard. Thirdly, if you are using a male-to-male wire, or what is sometimes referred to as a suicide cord, to plug into the duplex outlet in a wall and the surge protector to power the projector, this must be rated for the same amperage as the circuit. Additionally, this is not generally considered a safe or code-compliant method. There are safer alternatives, and using a male-to-male cord has significant risks. The wall itself must be properly protected from the heat generated by the cable and any splices or connections within the wall. This can be achieved by using appropriate electrical boxes and ensuring the cable is properly secured and insulated. Regarding code compliance, in many cases, this type of setup may meet electrical code requirements, but it's crucial to verify this with a licensed electrician in your area. Electrical codes can vary depending on the specific location and jurisdiction. It is always best to consult with a qualified professional to ensure the installation is done correctly and safely. Let's delve deeper into the technical aspects and potential concerns. When dealing with electrical circuits, it's important to understand the relationship between voltage, current, and resistance, as defined by Ohm's law. This law states that voltage equals current multiplied by resistance, or volts equals amps times ohms. In a 20 amp circuit operating at 120 volts, the maximum power that can be safely delivered is 2400 watts, calculated by multiplying 20 amps by 120 volts. It's crucial to ensure that the total power consumption of all devices connected to the circuit, including the surge protector and the projector, does not exceed this limit. Overloading the circuit can lead to overheating of the wires, potentially causing a fire. When selecting Romex cable, the American wire gauge rating is crucial. As mentioned earlier, for a 20 amp circuit, 12 American wire gauge Romex is the minimum requirement. However, for longer runs, it may be necessary to use a larger gauge wire to minimize voltage drop. Voltage drop occurs when the voltage at the end of the circuit is lower than the voltage at the beginning due to the resistance of the wire. Excessive voltage drop can cause appliances to malfunction and can also lead to overheating. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for determining the appropriate wire size based on the length of the run and the current being carried. Consult NEC Table 310.15b16 for allowable ampacities of insulated conductors. When making electrical connections, it's essential to use proper wiring techniques and approved connectors. Wire nuts should be tightened securely to ensure a good electrical connection. Loose connections can cause arcing, which is a dangerous condition that can lead to a fire. All splices and connections must be made inside approved electrical boxes. These boxes provide protection from physical damage and help to contain any potential fires. It's also important to ground all electrical boxes and equipment properly. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the circuit breaker in the event of a ground fault. A ground fault occurs when a live wire comes into contact with the grounded surface. Now, let's discuss the potential hazards associated with using a male-to-male cord, also known as a suicide cord. This type of cord has male plugs on both ends, which means that both ends are capable of delivering power. This creates a significant risk of electric shock if one end of the cord is plugged into a live outlet and the other end is touched. Male-to-male cords are generally not code compliant and should not be used. There are safer alternatives for extending electrical circuits, such as using a properly wired extension cord or having a qualified electrician install a new outlet. When installing electrical wiring in a wall, it's important to follow the NEC guidelines for cable routing and protection. Romex cable should be run through the center of wall studs or protected by metal or plastic conduit to prevent it from being damaged by nails or screws. The cable should also be secured to the studs or joists using cable staples or straps. When running cable through holes in studs or joists, the holes should be drilled at least 1 1/4 inches from the edge of the wood to prevent nails or screws from penetrating the cable. If it's not possible to maintain this distance, the cable should be protected by metal nail plates. Let's also consider the specific requirements for installing a ceiling-mounted projector. Projectors typically require a dedicated circuit to prevent interference with other appliances. The circuit should be sized appropriately for the projector's power consumption. It's also important to ensure that the projector is properly grounded. If the projector has a metal housing, it should be grounded to the electrical system. This can be done by connecting a ground wire from the projector to a grounding screw in the electrical box. When installing a projector, it's important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The instructions will provide information on the proper mounting techniques, wiring requirements, and safety precautions. It's also a good idea to consult with a qualified audiovisual installer to ensure that the projector is installed correctly and safely. Now let's discuss some of the common electrical code violations that can occur when installing electrical wiring. One common violation is using undersized wire for the circuit. As mentioned earlier, for a 20 amp circuit, 12 American wire gauge Romex is the minimum requirement. Using a smaller gauge wire can cause the wire to overheat and potentially start a fire. Another common violation is overloading the circuit. As discussed earlier, it's important to ensure that the total power consumption of all devices connected to the circuit does not exceed the circuit's capacity. Overloading the circuit can trip the circuit breaker, but it can also damage the wiring and appliances. Another common violation is making improper electrical connections. As mentioned earlier, all electrical connections should be made inside approved electrical boxes using proper wiring techniques and approved connectors. Loose connections can cause arcing, which is a dangerous condition that can lead to a fire. Another common violation is failing to ground electrical boxes and equipment properly. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the circuit breaker in the event of a ground fault. It's also important to ensure that all electrical work is performed by a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to have the necessary knowledge and experience to do it safely. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a professional. Let's also touch on surge protection. A surge protector is a device that protects electrical equipment from voltage spikes. Voltage spikes can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or other electrical disturbances. Surge protectors work by diverting excess voltage to the ground, preventing it from reaching the equipment. It's a good idea to use a surge protector to protect sensitive electronic equipment, such as computers, televisions, and audio equipment. Surge protectors are available in a variety of styles and sizes. They can be plugged into a wall outlet or installed at the electrical panel. When selecting a surge protector, it's important to choose one that is rated for the voltage and current of the circuit. It's also a good idea to choose a surge protector that has a high surge current rating. The surge current rating indicates the amount of current that the surge protector can handle without being damaged. In addition to surge protection, it's also a good idea to use a UPS or uninterruptible power supply to protect sensitive electronic equipment from power outages. A UPS is a device that provides backup power in the event of a power outage. UPS devices typically contain a battery that can provide power for a limited amount of time. This allows you to safely shut down your equipment without losing any data. UPS devices are available in a variety of sizes and power ratings. When selecting a UPS, it's important to choose one that is sized appropriately for the equipment you are protecting. The UPS should be able to provide enough power to run the equipment for the amount of time you need to shut it down safely. Let's also discuss some of the common causes of electrical fires. Electrical fires can be caused by a variety of factors, including faulty wiring, overloaded circuits, and damaged appliances. Faulty wiring is one of the leading causes of electrical fires. This can include damaged insulation, loose connections, and improper wiring techniques. Overloaded circuits can also cause electrical fires. As discussed earlier, it's important to ensure that the total power consumption of all devices connected to the circuit does not exceed the circuit's capacity. Damaged appliances can also cause electrical fires. This can include frayed cords, cracked housings, and malfunctioning components. To prevent electrical fires, it's important to have your electrical system inspected regularly by a qualified electrician. The electrician can identify any potential hazards and make recommendations for repairs or upgrades. It's also important to use appliances safely and to replace any damaged appliances immediately. Finally, it's important to have working smoke detectors installed in your home. Smoke detectors can provide early warning of a fire, giving you time to escape safely. Smoke detectors should be tested regularly to ensure that they are working properly. Remember, electrical safety is paramount. Always consult with a licensed electrician for any electrical work to ensure it is done safely and in accordance with local codes.